Hi everybody and welcome to TorFX Weekly Market Update. I'm Nathan Bray. I'll be your host. It's the 13th of June 2016. This week we're going to be taking a look at the US interest rate announcement that comes out Thursday night. We'll also break down all the key news events for the week and of course what to expect for the week ahead. We'll put the spotlight on the Aussie against the US dollar failing at a critical level. But first of all, let's have a look at this building European banking crisis.
With the Brexit vote less than 10 days away, there's been a massive swing towards an exit. And the banks of the City of London, of course, are preparing for a citywide exodus in the wake of such a vote. And this is all occurring as the problems in Europe begin to escalate. With a banking crisis forming in Europe, you can see here the banks are down to levels we haven't seen since 2012. And in fact, Deutsche Bank is heading down to record lows. And this is all occurring as the Eurozone banks are hit by bad debts right across the board. This has led the ECB to start buying up corporate bonds, and in fact it's 1 in 5 trades. They're doing anything they can at this point to try and drum up some sort of inflation. But it's not just problems in the banking system. Even on the streets now you can see the French riot police and protesters are clashing over labour reforms in Paris, and of the 5,000 of the 10,000 fuel stations in France, they're completely out of fuel, and there are over 1 million people in the streets protesting for different reasons, not to mention the fact that the French riot police have had to resort to using tear gas on English and Russian fans brawling ahead of the Euro 16 match. So there's a lot of volatility going on in Europe at the moment. So it's worth keeping an eye on both the euro and, of course, the pound over the next 10 days. So let's move ahead now and have a look at the news coming out for the rest of the week around the world. Well, Monday is an Australian bank holiday and some Chinese data coming out around lunchtime with retail sales and, of course, their industrial production. But as we move into Tuesday, we'll be having a look at the NAB business confidence on the Aussie. And then just after the London Open, we'll have the CPI and core CPI data coming out on the pound. In the evening, we'll be looking towards the US dollar with their core retail sales and their retail sales coming out, all looking very flat and very close to zero. And then we move into Wednesday. Again, it will be with the pound. They've got their average earnings index and, of course, their claim on count change coming out and their employment rate. And then later on in the evening, we'll see how the purchasing is going in the US with their PPI data coming out, but still very, very flat and sitting very close to zero. Thursday for me is the big day. Got a lot of data coming out, but the biggest one, of course, I think is the biggest one for the week, really. We've got the federal funds rate coming out, and the projection here is it will remain unchanged. And, of course, your FOMC statement. And then we've got our employment change coming out Thursday here in Australia. It's looking like it's going to be positive. Our unemployment rate is looking to stay steady. And then a monetary policy statement out of Japan. And then later on in the afternoon, we've got some key interest rate news coming out. We've got the LIBOR rate coming out on the Swiss franc and a BOJ press conference to boot. So it's a very, very busy day on Thursday, followed by the official bank rate votes coming out on the pound. At this stage, all the votes look like it's going to remain unchanged, and their official bank rate as well will be coming out, looking to stay steady at 0.5%. And then finally in the evening there, we've got some CPI data and core CPI data, as well as their regular unemployment claims, still looking at the US to be up around 267,000. Finally, taking a look at the Aussie here against the US dollar on a daily chart provided a fantastic opportunity to swap those Aussies in for US dollars late last week, up around 74.86. You can see where it's putting in these lower tops and bottoms. We had a big rally back up where previous support became resistance, providing a great opportunity to put a limit order in place and, of course, make that trade.
Well, that's all from me. I look forward to speaking to you all next week. This is Nathan Bray for TorFX.